Hello, everyone. My name is Brian, along with my colleagues Sapir, Rosa, Kyle, and Hussein. We are going to be presenting the analysis on Boeing Incorporated and our recommendations for their company. On the first five forces analysis, we're going to go through the threat of rivalry is quite low. Boeing is the market leader in terms of aviation and aerospace production. They share this with Airbus, which is their only other major competitor in this field. The barriers to entry is quite high. There's a steep fixed cost associated with the manufacturing of aviation, with warehouses costing up to $1 billion. On the supplier power side, it is quite moderate. Uh, Aviation production requires unique products that are sold to them, so they have a unique position for them to exploit. On the flip side, Boeing is the only other company that is looking to buy these products, so they also have a position to sell from. On the buyer power side, it is quite low. Airlines only have two other options in terms of buying a fleet of airplanes, which is Boeing and Airbus. On the threats of substitutes, it's quite low. To design a new type of aircraft costs around $500 million each. On the pestle analysis, Boeing is a global company, so they have to understand the legal and political regulations that exist all around the globe in terms of aviation and airplane manufacturing. On the economic side, it is heavily subsidized by the U.S. government to ensure that they manufacture in specific states. On the social demographic side, airline demand is dependent on consumers looking to travel for holidays. On the technological side, there's new and lightweight material that is being produced daily and yearly that is pushing the boundaries of aviation every year. On the environmental side, there's a greater emphasis on the effect that aviation has on global climate change. This partly has to do with the Paris Climate Accords, that although they did not mention airline travel, many different states and countries are looking to curtail aviation pollution.
For the competitor analysis, the first competitor we're going to look at is Airbus. They are Boeing's primary competitor in the commercial aircraft industry. In 2019, they posted higher aircraft deliveries than Boeing, as well as a larger aircraft backlog. They use a differentiation strategy, which can be seen by their technological innovation and higher price points when comparing similar models of planes with Boeing's. They serve a broad market with 4 primary segments of commercial aircraft, as well as serving a large market across different airlines internationally. They're also a dominant business firm with over 70% of their revenue coming from commercial aircraft. However, they are looking to expand their other segments in the future. Next up is Lockheed Martin. They compete in the aerospace and defense industry. They're the largest contractor in defense for the U.S. government, with over 70% of their total revenue coming from U.S. government contracts. They use a differentiation strategy where they prioritize innovation as well as have high price points. They serve a narrow market, only selling to governments, which is mostly the U.S. government and a couple allies. They use a related constrained diversification strategy. They have aeronautics, rotary, and mission systems, space, and mission fire control systems as their segments. Following up with them is Northrop Grumman. They also compete in the aerospace and defense industry. 37.2% of their revenue comes from the U.S. government. They use a differentiation strategy as well. They prioritize innovation of high price points. A good example of their strategy is the development of the B-2 stealth bomber. They serve a narrow market as well, only selling to governments, primarily the U.S. government. And they have a related constrained diversification strategy. They have 4 segments, but they focus a little bit more on services than the other 2 competitors. Moving on to the intra-industry analysis, we'll look first at the commercial aircraft industry. It's in its maturity stage, as both firms and the duopoly between Boeing and Airbus, they struggle to find new market share. They usually just take it from each other. And Airbus is poised to become the leader in the industry. Moving on to the aerospace and defense industry, it's actually in its growth stage. And it's in its growth stage due to a transition to not only developing aircraft, but also into military systems. These companies all compete with contracts from the government, and the government actually ensures competition between these 3 industries because they want to encourage growth and innovation. Disruptive technologies for these industries include 3D printing. It can print parts cheaper and more efficiently. Blockchain technology is a data structure that can easily track blocks of data and transactions, and that, along with AI and e-maintenance management systems allow data to be managed and analyzed more efficiently. And I'm going to pass along to Rosa for the financial analysis.
When analyzing a value chain analysis on Boeing, we can see four primary activities, which include their operation, supply chain, distribution, and service. Their operations can be seen globally in different market segments, such as defense, aerospace, and commercial airlines, which are just some of the few. And their supply chain can be seen from contracts with raw material suppliers to the acquisition of Avail that provided them ability to have services under one roof and create a brand for Boeing as well, while providing better service for their customers. Their distribution can be seen to the after sale of products as well, such as their aircraft transportation, the lending of tools to their customers, and that also falls into their service, which offers 24/7 customer support as well as training materials and manuals for pilots and different staff. Their secondary activities include their information system, which is crucial in their analytics and providing that information as well to their customers. Their technology and innovation research is going to prove one of their most useful resources, especially now as they're moving towards more environmentally friendly aspects in the business, such as jet fuel and other things that will help them reduce their footprint. The general administration is also going to be very crucial to their lowering of their operation costs. The revenue analysis can show some fluctuation between the years 2017, 18, and 19. We can see 27 started at 94 million and then increased to over 100 million in the year 2018 with a sharp decrease in 2019. This decrease can be accounted for because of all the issues that they were having with 737, and this will further impact them if they don't get the certifications again going for the 737. The loss of revenue from these issues was somewhat off-put by other incomes and a steady increase for their defense sector as well as their global sector.
Sustainability. Boeing is committed to protecting the environment and supporting the aviation world long-term sustainable growth. In early 2014, Boeing revealed that they found a renewable source of biofuel known as green diesel. Later in that year, Boeing tested the biofuel by blending 15% of a green diesel with petroleum jet fuel in the left engine. Green diesel is widely available and it's being used in ground transportation. It can make traveling more affordable for customers. For now, Boeing is working with the private and governmental sectors to gain approval to use another sustainable fuel called HEFA Plus, which is made from agricultural waste. Boeing already tested the HEFA Plus on its Eco Demonstrator program using 787 and 757 airplanes. The use of sustainable fuels is growing in the aviation industry. Thousands of passenger flights have took off on blend of sustainable use, fuel, and petroleum fuel. As we can see in this picture, this is Boeing effort in reducing fuel and carbon dioxide and noise footprint in their newer models. As we can see, 20% to 25% reduction in fuel and up to 50% smaller noise print for their models in 787 and 737 MAX.
Hi, my name is Sapir. I'm going to be talking about Boeing's corporate level strategy and business level strategy. So we're going to start off by talking about the corporate level strategy. Boeing follows a highly competitive approach and determined attitude when it comes to how it conducts itself. Boeing's main goal is to eliminate Airbus as their competitor so that they're able to acquire the position of being the dominating airplane manufacturer. They persist with their growth and adaptability as it relates to technology, and they provide society with the finest and most advanced products within the industry. Their business level strategy, it's a They're focused on developing, building, and supporting both commercial airplanes as well as military airplanes. In addition, they specialize in satellites, defense systems, and launch vehicles. Boeing is concentrated on their integration of both defense systems as well as military networks. And their main mission really is to continue to generate various networking technology and resolutions. So they understand that doing so will meet customer needs and wants by providing them with various advanced systems and technology. And I'm going to be talking about our 2 long-term recommendations that we have for Boeing. The first one being that Boeing needs to focus on maximizing their production volume in order to be the leading airplane manufacturer in the industry. So in doing so, they'll be able to compete with Airbus and have a fast turnaround and delivery times. And the second one being further research and investment into the sustainable jet fuel to aid in other aviation improvements. So that's going to be it for the long-term recommendation. Okay, and our short-term recommendations for Boeing. The first one being Boeing can begin to incorporate composite material and start reducing their use of titanium and aluminum. So not only is using composite materials more sustainable, but it will ultimately reduce the reliance Boeing has on its suppliers. And the second recommendation we have for Boeing is that Boeing should work on increasing their customer interaction with regards to offering plans to help improve their environmental impact. So they should establish a plan regarding how they're going to contribute environmentally and regularly inform the public. And that's going to be our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for your time.